In this video, we are going to go ahead and complete the exercise Node and NPM. In our previous video, we have seen how to create an repo, clone it our local system, make all the changes and push it to the main branch. Now what we are going to do, we are going to go through all the required tasks that is given here and go ahead and solve one after another. So let's start with the first thing. So the first thing it is saying is to initialize the folder with npm using npm init. So here we have already created the folder called test task, and here we are going to initialize npm by saying npm init. And as soon as you do that, you know that it is going to ask you some question, but it will also have some default value. So generally what I do in this case is to keep pressing enter, and at the end you will see that you will get a file called package.json, and you'll see all the test information is here. Now, after doing that, we need to create the basic HTML and CSS file. We have already done that. We need to go ahead and add a package called Parcel-bundler. As in the video you must have seen, Parcel-bundler is used for creating a live server. So right now, when I want to look at this page on the browser, you will have to go open it like this, and every time you're making any changes, you will have to refresh this page. But live server helps with that. As soon as you save the changes in VS Code, it will update it right here. So let's go ahead and do that. The first thing we need to do is to add the package Parcel-bundler. So we'll say npm install and the name of the package, that is Parcel-bundler. Now, to start the server, we need the HTML file. We have it, right? So now what we are going to do is to add a script. You must be thinking, what is script? So script is naming or pseudo-naming any of the command that you want to run again and again. Say, for example, to start a server using Parcel-bundler, the command for that is you say parcel, and after that you write the file name. So that is index.html. And here, what do you want to call that command? So you can call it anything you want. I'm just going to call it start. It means that to start the server, you will have to run this command called start. And that start is going to do partial index.html. If you want to do it right here, you can directly do it without using any script. So let's try doing that. So you'll say parcel index.html. If you say that, what it will do, it will throw an error saying command not found parcel. Why? Because parcel is not a package that we have installed globally. Globally means it is present inside terminal. So if you want to install parcel globally, what you can do is you can say npm install, and you need to add a flag here. Flag for telling npm to install it globally, that is -g. And if you do that, it will take a couple of seconds to install it, but then you will be able to run this command on any project that you want. You don't have to have npm or install this package again and again. You can just install it globally, and then all you need to do is whenever you want to run any server, you can just go ahead and say parcel, what is the file name, index.html. It will take a couple of seconds and it will start the server on localhost 1234. So now let's go ahead and look at the changes here. So I'll press enter. Here we have hello world. What if we want to change anything here? So we can just add something like an emoji. As soon as you save it, here you can see that thing. You don't have to refresh it at all. So that is one way of doing it. You can also run the server now in any folder that you want. Say, what if I just go back and create another folder? So we'll say mkdir, and the name of the folder is test npm, and we'll go into test npm. So this is another folder. I can open it again into a VS Code. Now this is the folder. Here what I can do is I can just have index.html. Now what is the importance of having parcel installed globally? So now if we have anything here like h1 hello npm, so we don't have to initialize npm or anything into this folder. We can directly go ahead and say parcel index.html. Why? Because parcel is globally installed. Then you can just run the server. You can see it is opening at like localhost 1234. You can just see it is saying hello npm. To break this or to stop the server, you have to say Control C. And for different operating system, it can be different things. Just Google it out. You'll understand. Now I'm just going to close this and come back to our folder where we were working. So this is where we are working. Now what we need to do is to start the server by using parcel index.html. But now what we have done in this project is I've said that whenever I say start, you have to run this line. So that is just pseudonyming, right? So here what we can do is to access this start, what you have to do is to say npm start. And start is a special keyword, so you don't have to do anything. But if you're naming it anything else like ABC, then you'll have to say npm run ABC. So whenever you say npm start or npm run, it runs the script that you have here. So look at it. As soon as I say npm start, it is going to run. So here it was throwing error. The reason because we are in a different folder. We will have to come back to our folder that we are working, that is test. And here we can just say ls and we have all the things. Now we can just be like npm run start. It will start the server at localhost 1234. You can see it is running the same thing that we were running earlier, that is parcel index.html. So you can say npm run start. The second way of doing it is also just because start is a special keyword, you can also say npm start and it will start running the server. Now let's go ahead and start working on our task. So let's go ahead and look at what is Moment.js, and that is what we have to use. You can install the package using this and also have to use Lodash. But now is the following things that you have to do is like use Moment to do the following things. So what are the things that you have to do? So first of all, we will go ahead and install these packages. So whenever you go on any of the packages, you will find all the information here about that package. You can read it through to understand how to use it. Here the first thing is it's saying like npm install Moment to install Moment.js. So on terminal, I'm just going to open another terminal. Why? Because here the server is running. I cannot install any package. For that, I'll have to do Control C. I want to keep it running and open a new terminal. And here we can just be like npm install Moment. At the same time, you will also have to install Lodash. So let's go ahead and do it all at the same time. So I'll say npm install Moment, npm install Lodash. Now if you go and look at your package.json, you'll see that here you have two packages, that is Lodash and Moment. And that is visible here. Now what we will do, we will start working on it. So the first thing it is asking me to do is to use Moment to do the following things. So print date or time in the following format. So whatever is the date today, you have to print it in the following format. How do you do that? So for that, we will go through the documentation. And here you can see that whenever you call Moment and you call the function called format and you pass whatever format you want, it will give you data in that specific format. So now let's just try to compare the first format. So here it is month, day, year, and the time, and you have AM or PM. So let's look at it. It's look very similar, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to use a very similar method like this. So here we have created a file called script.js. In that we have written console.log hello to test it. And now we are just going to link it. So to link it, we are saying script, src, and the file name. Now let's go ahead and refresh this. You don't have to even refresh it and you'll see that the hello is coming in console. It means our JavaScript is linked properly. So let's go ahead and start working on our tasks. The first one is printing it like this. So for that, we are just going to import Moment.js. So there are multiple ways of doing that. You can just be like import Moment from Moment. And as soon as you do that, you will have access to the Moment function. Why do we need that? So we will need it to use that function like this. So the first thing we are going to do is to console log in that way. So we'll say console.log, and here we are going to just say moment.format in this way. Now let's go ahead and open our web page. So we can see the format that we wanted the time to be in. It's exactly displaying in that way. Similarly, we'll go ahead and look at Friday and Fave 12, how to do that. So here you can see it is very similar coming from here. So again, I'll copy paste the same thing. And here, instead of doing this, we are just going to say moment, call that function. As soon as you call, you get access to a special function called format. And I'm just saying I want date in bigger format. Similarly, you can again call it format. And the next format that we want to use is Feb 12th, 21. So here, Feb 12th, 21. So again, we have to use this format. And the format is MMMDOYY. Now you must be thinking, where are these formats coming from? So if you go through their documentation that is here and look at the function that is format function, then you'll see the list of all the tokens that you can use for specific stuff. So for example, what if I need time to be something like 001 or in 3 digit, right? So for that, you will have to say DDDD. So let's go ahead and experiment it a bit. And here, instead of saying DO, we are saying DDDD, and that will give us day in 3 digits. So now, if we save it, what do we see here? This is what we are seeing because it is November 8th, so its day number is 312. So in future, whenever you need the date or time to be formatted in a specific way, you can just come and look at all the different tokens that is available that can be used in Moment.js. So now that we are done with the formatting, the next thing it is saying is check if the following date is valid or not. So what you can do now is to just go ahead and look at all the different methods available in Moment to see what you can do and what you cannot do using which method. So here the thing that we'll search for is valid or not. So let's go ahead and search for valid. So I just search randomly for the valid name, and here you can see that Moment has a function called isValid. So I'll just take this data from here and console log again. Moment is going to have a function called isValid, and here we'll pass the date like this. Similarly, you have to pass the date, the second one that we have here, and we'll pass it like this again. We'll save it. In our console, we'll see that we have both the dates are valid. So now the next thing is manipulating dates like add 7 months, 7 years, subtract days, month, and year. So here for that, if you look at in this section, you can see there is a section for manipulation. And here going through this, you can just do all the basic stuffs like moment.add, number, and string. So add, you also have different kind of things like what do you want to add? So I want to add 7, D for days, and you have all the shorthand here. Y for year, Q for quarter, M for month, W for weeks, and all the other stuff. So let's go ahead and start doing that. So here I'll call the function moment, and then we'll say add. What do you want to add? 7 dates. So I'll say 7, and in this string you can say D. And as soon as you do that, adding 7 date to today's date is going to be something like 15th November. And that is what we can see here. So similarly, you can just go ahead and add the other stuff by going through the shorthand and the key from here. So let's go through this. Similarly, what is the difference between the two dates? So date 1 is this, date 2 is this. So for that, what I'll do is look at the difference. So for the difference in the date, you can just search for a function called diff. So for difference, there is a section for difference. Here you can see in display, you find the difference. And again, you can just be like moment and difference is, and you can pass 2 dates. So you have date 1, you have first date, second date, and you can say a.difference b, and it will give you days in this way. So you can just do the difference in that way. See, the most important thing you need to do in this task is to learn how to go through the documentation properly. So whatever is being asked is already present in this documentation. Using search or using your basic things, you can understand which section it will belong in. So mostly just go ahead, use search to find where it is, and then you will be able to do most of the things from here. So now let's go ahead and move on to Lodash. For Lodash, again, you just need to learn how to use different methods. So here you can see that you have to use 5 methods from the list of array methods and 5 from collection method. So here we can see that array is there, collection is here. You have date, you have function, you have lang, math, and so many other stuff you have. We can just try it out with array and collection. So let's start with the array first. So I'll just randomly click on difference. And again, the same thing here. You have to go through the documentation to understand it. So now here, what we are going to do first, import Lodash. So you can just call it like this, import Lodash from Lodash. You don't have to have this underscore here. You can also have just Lodash, but generally people use it because it's so simple, right? So here what we can do is we can do a very similar stuff that using chunk. So I can just copy it here and paste code here. Now we are creating a chunk of two from here. So it should be AB and CD. So we'll open it here and we can see an array of two arrays, that is AB and CD, and it is working properly. Similarly, just go ahead and try different methods. Like from here, I can just copy this and I can paste it here to see if it is working or it is not working. Now, if you go into your browser, you will see it is working properly. So after going through the array methods, go through the different collection methods from here and try using any method from here. Just go ahead, have fun going through different methods, knowing about it. So once you know that these are the methods that exist, you can actually use it in your project whenever you need it. So after making all the changes like this, all you have to do is to just make the commit, message it, and push it into the branch and submit the repo here. That's all you need to do. So in this way, we have completed this exercise.